It was St Paddy's Day last week. I missed out on my tradition of having a Guinness on Paddy's Day, so I thought we should do that today.
Do you want to know something interesting?
No, I just want to have the Guinness. There we go.
I've never had a Guinness before. Oh, that's heavy stuff. My house is haunted, by the way.
That's no way to talk about Zara.
So basically, I have a ghost.
Right, yeah.
Whenever Zara's at home with me, the lights flicker, the TV turns on at certain times at night, we get, like, pounding in the ceiling above us, and now what I do is I have to lock the door.
Your ghost hasn't worked out how to go through walls yet. When the door's shut, oh, fuck, what am I going to do now? Have you named him? Does he have a name? Has he
Nigel.
spoken to you?
It's like an old-school name, but sort of, like, approachable.
Yes, approachable Nigel the ghost.
Yeah.
And what do you and Nigel get up to? Do you play games together, sit and chill?
No, because you can't do that. You can't, like, actually talk to them or interact with them because then they become a little bit more, ingrained in your ingrained in your
What the fuck is wrong
life.
with you?
I don't actually know what just happened there. Pete?
Why are you throwing all the pointers on the floor?
Fuck it, it's Nigel. Cue titles. Hello and welcome to Pete and Sam's Reality News with me, Sam.
Me, Pete.
Welcome to Pete and Sam's Reality News. This is the place for the latest in reality TV. This week, we're going to be exploring the Z-list animal world. Kiss FM's Harriet Rose will be celebrating the latest and greatest from RuPaul's Drag Race UK.
And, of course, I will be bringing you Prick of the Week. And this week, we have a prick of biblical proportions.
But first this week, we have the reality news headlines. Jedward becomes social commentary heroes.
Loose term.
Yeah, you heard that right. Jedward are back again. The twin brothers have become heroes on Twitter after prolifically tweeting over the last few weeks on all sorts of topical subjects.
Just goes to show how shit the world is when people are celebrating Jedward as heroes.
That's right, Pete. The pair have waded into the most polarising debates, including the recent news surrounding the Winston Churchill statue, Piers Morgan storming out, and the royals.
The biggest thing for me about this story is the similarities between Jedward and you. Have a look at this. You could have been separated at birth.
Oh, my God.
Has Karen ever been to Ireland?
Little message to Jedward out there is Pete and Sam's reality news all day, baby. Don't come for our shit.
Jedward, if you are listening, come and pick up your brother.
Danny Dyer has revealed on his podcast he's struggling to have daytime sex with his wife, Jo. Danny joked he's been trying to squeeze in a rollabout with his partner, but keeps getting caught.
Nightmare.
I love that. Danny Dyer, hard man. He can't just say, make love. It has to be a rollabout.
Do you fancy a rollabout? I've said it before. Better than what you normally do, which is go home and say, do you want Sexington Bears?
Catherine Ryan joined their podcast this week and admitted that she has exactly the same problem.
What, she struggles to have sex with Danny Dyer's wife during the day as well?
Danny's daughter, Danny, suggested they get a lock on the door, but Danny said it would be too obvious.
Yeah, that is obvious, but not as obvious as seeing your dad hang out the back of your mum, so I think a lock's probably a good idea.
Yeah, you don't want any Nigels getting in there anyway, do you?
Anyway, I mean, what advice would you give to Karen so that you didn't walk in on me and her?
Well, I'd probably just say do it when I'm not there. Mum has actually walked in on me before, getting a second base.
And the poor boy has never been the same since.
Rita Ora is replaced by a mannequin after she pulls out last minute from Drag Race UK.
That actually sounds like a fucking great idea. And I feel like I know someone that could do a better job than you. Much better. Everyone watching, please meet Steve, my co-anchor for the rest of the show. Steve, how are you, mate? I'm very well, thank you very much.
He's not even holding his papers.
Don't worry about what Steve's doing, mate. He's memorised it because he's a real newsreader. Steve, this is your moment, mate. So, what did you think of the Rita Ora story? I think Rita is beautiful and she can't do any wrong. You're sitting on the fence a little bit there. That's what we got rid of Sam for. OK, then, I think she's a bit of a dickhead.
Well, I mean, she is a bit of a dick, didn't she? She broke
Sam, the audience don't participate in this. It's Steve and Pete's reality news.
Is Steve a sex doll?
Steve, should we move on to the next headline?
No,
let's go.
Enough. No, this is weird. Stone Cold Stunner.
Who the hell do you think you're touching?
See you later. You ever seen a Stone Cold Stunner like that?
I've never seen a Stone Cold Stunner where a doll manages to stay on the chair, but you're on the floor.
Our juiciest story today, Pete Wicks is dating a 20-year-old.
So, we've kissed once, a good few months ago now. Nothing has happened since.
But then she did suggest that they turned it in to just a bit of fun, and you didn't knock it down.
I said no.
With a smirk. Do you still live at home? Do you knock on the door and just go, hello, Mrs. Ella Towie person. I'd like to take your daughter out for a date, please.
I do not.
I'll have her back by 11 p.m. Did she practice on her hand before she kissed you? Just one of these?
No.
I wonder how she navigated the beard. It's probably the first guy with a beard she's kissed. She was born this side of the millennium. She's almost as old as YouTube. Oh, my fucking God. She wouldn't know who the Spice Girls are.
Ella is very mature for her age.
Oh, my God, she's very mature for her age. Did her father drop her off to the date? Was it a date to McDonald's, or...?
No, we went to a wine bar.
Did she get ID'd?
No, because she was with me and I looked like her dad.
This week's main story, though. Weymouth Sea Life Centre names penguin after Gemma Collins.
So, the last couple of weeks, the main stories have been Harry and Meghan interview, Britney and the documentary. We went hard on Piers Morgan last week. This week, a penguin called Gemma is the hard-hitting news point of the show.
Well, this was in the news, so we are reporting the news. They said that their reasoning behind the decision was because the penguin was displaying similar characteristics to the well-known diva.
I mean, what would they be? She falls over on the ice a lot.
The penguin, which is one of 6 chicks born in March 2020, was seen pushing her siblings aside to get food and sulked if she didn't get her own way.
Sulking does sound a little bit like Gemma. But how does a penguin sulk? And that's not how penguins sound.
Yes, it is. This, genuinely... I know that because I've watched a lot of David Attenborough.
I also watch a lot of David Attenborough, great man, and I've never seen a penguin do that.
How do you think Gemma feels about a penguin being named after her?
I imagine she'll be quite gassed because there's worse animals she could have been called.
And how do you think the penguin feels?
Disappointed.
We can cross live to the penguin, see what he thinks on the matter.
Last week we interviewed Rachel Riley. This week we're interviewing a penguin.
I was so right. This isn't the first time an animal has shared its name with a reality star, though. Chester Zoo named naked mole rat after Janet Street Porter.
I can't imagine anyone being happy being compared to a naked mole rat because they are fucking ugly.
Ah, but they're God's creatures too, Pete. I once called my sister a naked mole rat.
I bet she was over the moon.
She sleeps with her mouth open on aeroplanes. Like that.
Well, how do they go again? You're like the John Coleshaw of animal impressions, aren't you?
We actually have asked the fans and the viewers of Pete and Sam's Reality News if they do have any celebrity-named pets to send them in to us, and I have a few here.
OK.
So we have Binky the dog. This was sent to us by Eddie. Then we've got Rosie the dog, Rosie from MIC, and Binky the cat.
I didn't realise anyone actually watched Made in Chelsea, so this is a big surprise for me.
And last but not least, we have Pete the dog from a lady called Ruby.
Sort of looks like he's on his deathbed, but I like him. It's cute.
Almost like he's about to bite you.
No.
It's like a mid-growl photo where he's like, don't fucking come near me or I'll bite your gear off.
No. I don't think Pete the dog would bite your naked mole rat.
Have we got something exciting for you? The final of Drag Race UK Series 2 aired on Thursday, with RuPaul crowning the winner of the series. Here, with a very special winner's shout-out, is our roving reporter, Harriet Rose, with a special report called Life's a Drag.
Hi, I'm Harriet Rose, presenter, DJ and all-round queer icon that you have never heard of. I'm so excited to be your reality news correspondent this week for all things Drag Race, which is why I'm standing outside the old South London pub, the Royal Vauxhall Tavern. This mecca for the LGBTQ+ community has hosted top drag performers such as Hinge and Brackett and Regina Fong. And if you've not heard of them, Lily Savage was a regular here. Just slightly more glam than Battersea Cats and Dogs Home. The Panny D put a stop to live performances with crowded audiences and had a devastating effect on the entertainment community, including royalty, the drag queens of the UK. Their work all but dried up in an instant. No Vauxhall Tavern, no drag brunches, no performances, no Drag Race viewing parties, no theatre shows, and perhaps, saddest of all, no Pride. But it's not all bad news, Huns. Despite the pandemic, RuPaul came through for us all yet again, with Drag Race UK Series 2 bursting onto our screens in January as a rainbow-flavoured light at the end of the quarantine tunnel. The final episode aired last week, and what a series it's been! Before we talk about the winner, here are the highlights from the other finalists. We bloody love you, Bimini Bon Boulash, the most famous vegan in East London and the most followed queen in Drag Race UK history. I almost weed my my pants when Bimini took on Katie Price in Snatch Game, but I have to say, it wouldn't be Drag Race if I didn't cry as much as I laughed. The beautiful, honest moment between Ginny Lemon and Bimini discussing identifying as non-binary and what it's like growing up in a binary society. A true, open-hearted moment. A moment that sparked the British public to demand they replace Piers and Susanna on GMB. I'm keeping everything crossed. I mean everything. Taste, wakey, eggs and fucking bakey. Despite being the bottom 2 4 times throughout the series, she lip-synced the house down boots, making it to the final 4, officially crowning herself as the lip-sync assassin of Series 2. Ellie Diamond, the costume-creating queen of reveals, gave the entire cast of The Wizard of Oz in one runway, a giant fully feathered seagull, and she even revealed a bollock in the Limbo Mini Challenge. But I'm here to talk about the only thing that really matters, the winner. Congratulations to Lawrence Chaney, who, as the leader of the UK King Dolls, helped bring us the most culturally iconic song of 2021, UK Hun. The track topped the iTunes chart and hit the top 40 harder than an X Factor winner at Christmas. Gimme Bing Bang Bong over Bieber any day, Hun. Although it's been a tough year for drag queens and all of us fans of drag, hope is on the horizon, honeys. Pride is set to be back in 2021. We're already seeing UK queens pop up on festival lineups across the UK. And the United King Dolls are going on tour. See there, Huns. Anyway, boys, can I come back into studio now? It's freezing. I knew I should have worn a bra.
Harriet, that was fabulous, but what the fuck are you on about? You're stood right next to me. You haven't been outside at all.
I was trying to appear professional for you.
You were brilliant, Harriet. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been nothing but a pleasure, and I love your grey hair.
I love what you and your brother did on the X Factor. It was really good.
Excellent. And finally, for the most important part of the show, it's Prick of the Week. Prick of the Week. Last week, we went in on Piers Morgan and also threw Sam into the mix too. Well, you guys didn't disappoint. Piers won with 87% of the vote, but hilariously, Sam got 13%. Listen, all we're saying is...
I'll bring you your fucking hard-hitting news every week.
Now for this week's nominees, we are putting the Pope in for Prick of the Week. Jesus, come at me, Pope. Now, I'm not a massive fan of religion as it goes, except when you're being a prick about it. And last week, the Pope was a royal prick. Sorry, a holy prick. Pope Francis said last week that the Catholic Church cannot give its blessing to same-sex unions because God cannot bless sin. Change the record, Grandad. There's a long list of actions the Church could categorise as sins, but choose to ignore. If you can't bring yourself to make change, saying nothing would have been a lot better.
I mean, it's a bit rich. You know, they turn a blind eye to a lot of things that they've been accused of, but yet gay marriage, apparently, frowned upon.
Pope Francis called on Catholic clergy to treat gay people with respect and sensitivity, but ruled that blessing their unions would approve and encourage a choice and a way of life that cannot be recognised as objectively ordered to be the revealed plans of God. If you say you want to live your life by a set of archaic rules, that's fine, but these words will cause real harm in many communities around the world and will mean some will be afraid to come out or even just express themselves after this. I can't quite believe I'm saying this, but Pope, be more like Jedward. Use your platform for good. And if religion is meant to be all-inclusive, then you can't pick and choose who falls under that. Next up, we have Netflix, or as I like to call them, Netpricks. They are trialling a crackdown on password sharing. Some users have reported seeing a screen saying, if you don't live with the owner of the account, you need your own account to keep watching. Samuel, how do you feel about that?
I mean, we're all in a global pandemic right now. Netflix is all we have, so just give us a few more months before we start enforcing these kind of stuff, please, because I still use my mother's.
Yeah, I also still use Sam's mother's. And they are your 2 nominees for Prick of the Week this week.
Why not have 3? I think Steve, for being an anchor imposter and a sex doll.
We're not putting Steve in. He's the only decent host of this show. So, just the 2 nominees this week. It is Netpricks and the Pope. Vote for your biggest prick of the week on the PS Reality News Instagram straight after this show.
Can you hear footsteps upstairs?
It sounds like there's a baby elephant up there.
That's what it sounds like in my house.
He's a big ghost, is he?
And unfortunately, that's all we've got time for here at Pete and Sam's Reality News. I've been Sam Thompson.
I've just been Pete.
Take care of yourselves. Stay away from each other.
Ta-da.
Weird stuff's been happening this week. Do you want to do a Ouija board?
Not really, no.
Focus. Spirits abound. Left, right and centre. If you fancy a tussle with us, come and enter. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Hold on, it's saying something.
S-A-M.
Sam, it's about me. It's my grandfather, isn't it? It's my grandfather.
It could be...
B-E. I've got it. I've got it. Sam.
Is a bell end.